Bella Ramsey plays Ellie. I call her Belly.
Hey guys, MegaMat1254 here again. Welcome back to another video. And today, guys, I'm going to be giving my final thoughts on The Last of Us, at least this season. I do want to do more vids on The Last of Us, but I at least want to cover basically just my overall thoughts on the season. I'm not going to be breaking this down episode by episode or anything. This is just more me talking about the season overall, how I felt about it as an adaptation, whether I liked it or didn't like it, and yeah, that's really all this video will be, guys. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so The Last of Us Season 1. Now, this was a season that was promised and cooked up for a few years. I remember a few years ago, I think it was 2021, when leaked shots of this show were just, you know, they were all over Instagram. They were all over the place. I remember I was really freaking hyped for it at the time, because, well, I've said this in my other Last of Us videos, is I'm a diehard fan of the first Last of Us game. It's one of my favorite gaming stories ever made, personally. I really love that game. So, of course, naturally, I'm going to be hyped for a live-action TV adaptation, especially one that stars Pedro Pascal, who's also known as The Mandalorian, which is one of my favorite shows airing right now as well. So I was extremely hyped by this news. And we also have Bella Ramsey playing Ellie. Now, her I don't know too well. I know she's on Game of Thrones, but I don't really know that actress too well other than Last of Us. And, well, suffice to say, I was pretty hyped going into this, right? I was like, I was going in with a positive attitude. The hype was building for a good solid few years, and it finally aired on January 15th, 2023, and the pilot was amazing. I loved that first episode. It was, very faithful to the source material. It expanded on a lot of the flashback timeline, and I actually think this part of the show is better than the game, with like the Sarah stuff and the flashbacks and Joel losing his daughter. I actually think the show did that stuff better. That's what's crazy. And even the current day stuff was really good. Like when we meet Tess, we freaking have like the stuff with the fireflies attacking. Joel meets Ellie. We meet Marlene and all that, and then Joel beats the crap out of that Fedra soldier that he was like doing drug deals with and shit, which was pretty fucking cool. So, yeah, episode 1, no problems here. And then frickin' episode 2 carried it on, right? And frickin' it was a solid second episode, at least that's just me. I really loved the second episode. I thought it was a good character builder. Got tons of infected, tons of good, like, character building moments between Joel and Ellie. Stuff with Tess that was really good. Lots of great action. The frickin' scene where Tess dies was crazy as well. And then, okay. This is when the series starts to really fucking go downhill for me. Episode 3, didn't like it at all. It's a time waster to tell a love story that didn't need to be told. At least that's just me. And no, I'm not saying this because of the woke shit, guys. If this was a love story between a man and a woman, I would still have the same issues with this. It's a waste of time. In the grand scheme of things, Joel and Ellie get a truck. Moving on. Episode 4, don't like it. It's generic shit. They cut out the action. It's very fucking, like, random. The cliffhanger's stupid. It's just, yeah, no, not a fan of it. 5 is when the show peaks. 5, I love that episode. 5 was dope, right? Like, I really like 5. The infected were amazing in 5. Like, with the bloater coming out of the ground, you got Henry and Sam, which were really freaking good characters. In particular, Henry. I actually prefer the TV show counterpart of Henry, because I feel like he was more fleshed out than the game version. They actually give him more of, like, a backstory as to why, like, these people want him dead and stuff. So yeah, Henry was fucking cool. Freaking episode 6 was okay. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just there for me. I can't stand episode 7. Again, a time waster episode. I only could give one compliment, which is the mall setting. That shit's pretty cool. Episode 8 is no good. I don't like it. I think it's a waste of time, because what do the cannibals do in the end of the grand scheme of things in the story for the show? Nothing. Episode 9. It's a good episode, but I have a lot of problems with it. So, you guys see where I'm going with this now, right? Is I kind of wanted to just run through every episode so I could kind of delve deeper into the season as a whole with my big issues with it. And I guess I'll go into my first major red flag with this season. Where the fuck are the infected? This does not feel like a zombie show at all. Apart from the first 2 episodes and some scenes in 5, the infected are missing. They're not around. We don't see them. The clickers in episode 2 feel like a special event more than anything. The bloater appears once. They're missing from crucial scenes of episodes, like when Riley and Ellie are at the mall and they get attacked. In the Left Behind DLC pack, they get chased down by a horde. There's a bunch of them that are chasing them. In the show, it's 1, and that feels really cheap and lazy, and it almost feels like they just forgot about the infected a lot. Like, in the finale, there's only 1. I don't think there's any in episode 8. 6, I don't think there's any. Like, there's no infected throughout the season at all. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the last time we've seen infected in the current timeline is episode 5. And that's not good, man. Like, friggin', the infected are a crucial part of The Last of Us. Like, when you talk about The Last of Us video game, what's one of the first thing that comes to mind? The scary clickers, the bloaters, the terrifying designs of these really well thought out and creative zombies that friggin' could put nightmares into your head. Some of the creepiest zombie designs in all of gaming and entertainment. And the show's like, okay, we're gonna do away with that, frickin' use them for one-time events, and then just go on to do friggin' like slow character stuff. And don't get me wrong, I like slow character stuff if it's executed well, and there are times in The Last of Us where I love the slow character stuff. Like, I prefer slow character like building and development over action scenes. But when you cut the infected out at the cost in a zombie apocalypse show, there needs to be a healthy balance. You know what I mean? Like, have time for the character building, of course. Have time for all that. But also have time to show the, frickin', infected. Which is the driving force of the show. Which is the infected. The clickers are gone. The bloaters are gone. There's barely any runners. Like, it's just very confusing to me why they would cut that out. And I guess while I'm on this topic, I will go on to my next big red flag with the season. And that is Grandpa Joel. And that's kind of what inspired this intro at the start, right? Is Joel is like, other than the finale, and I'll get into that later, other than the finale, what the fuck has this guy done this season, man? Like, episode 1, he's cool. I guess he's got, like, some cool moments there. But a lot of the season, man, he just feels like this dumb old man that, like, just walks around and is like, oh, you gotta listen to me, Ellie. I'm the one in charge here, Ellie. You gotta listen to me. I'm Joel. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm Joel. And it's like, alright, Joel, fucking, you gotta frickin', like, show, like, your savageness and all that. And he's just like, no, I'm Joel, though. Yeah, oh, I'm cool. I'm Joel. And I'm just like, man, he's not doing nothing. Like, frickin', he's, like, sleeping around for 3 episodes, borderline. Okay, that's kind of stretching it. But, frickin', 7 and most of 8, he's out of it. Frickin', and at the end of 6, like, he gets stabbed and, well, I'll get into that later. But, frickin', you guys know what I mean. Like, Joel just seems so, underused. he almost feels like a backseat character compared to Ellie. Like, Ellie gets all the cool shit in the show, man. Like, Ellie's the one killing all the frickin' people and getting all the cool action scenes. Joel's just, like, lying in bed, sleeping around. He's, not doing much. And friggin', this is not the fault of Pedro Pascal. I think he is phenomenal in the role of Joel. I think he's really good in that role. But they're not giving him nothing to do. Like, friggin', go watch him in Mandalorian, guys, and I'm telling you, you'll see what this actor's truly capable of. This guy is an utter badass when he wants to be. But, in the show, it's like the writers are like, okay, no, Joel doesn't get to do anything. We're gonna dumb him down, make him a weak old man, and have Ellie save his ass every friggin' time. It got old, it got tedious, and, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that. And, on to the next topic, right, is, this is a big red flag with this show overall so far, is the censorship is insane. It's insane. Basically every kill is censored and off-screen. The Last of Us game is one of the most brutal, visceral games ever. You feel like a true frickin' savage while playing that game. Like, when you play Joel, you're smashing bricks in people's faces, you're stomping heads in, you're seeing the brain splatter, the zombies getting fucked up, like, the burning of the Molotovs. Like, it's brutal, man. The Last of Us is one of the most brutal games ever made. In the show, it's like, oh no, we don't want to scare the audience with the big brutal stuff. We gotta censor it so people stick around. I'm like, you guys are HBO. You've made Game of Thrones, which is, from what I've seen of that show is fucked, man. That show's brutal. I'd even say the show gets a little too brutal at times. Fucking, it gets too crazy. Friggin' The Last of Us, we're going too far the other way. We're frickin' sitting around watching Baby's First Zombie Show. Like, what are we doing here with the frickin' gore and shit? Like, it's MIA, man. Like, the kills are borderline all censored. Like, we don't see any blood and gore, really, aside from, like, very minor stuff. And I just wish that they took more time to really hammer down the brutality of the zombie apocalypse, because they really kind of shy away from it. Like, they do not show you much of that at all, and I feel like it's a big waste of potential not to show the blood and gore and brutality in a zombie apocalypse. I don't know, man. It's a big waste, if you ask me. A big waste of potential. Those are my major red flags with the season. Friggin'. This is like another complaint I have is, we spend a lot of time wasting time in this show. Episodes 3 and 7 are filler. They do not add any value to the plot. They're very much just sitting around doing nothing episodes. It's very just like, why would you do that plot when we only have 9 episodes, and a couple of these episodes are short? Oh, and they have a funny sense of humor, man. They make these filler episodes longer than the episodes that matter. Episode 3 is an hour and a half borderline. The finale's 44 minutes, man. Like, what are we doing here? We're wasting our runtime watching stuff that does not matter in the end. Episode 9, that matters. That plot goes places in Season 2. It's Episode 3, no one's going to be talking about Episode 3 in next season. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter to the grand scheme of the plot. And look, I'm not saying that all filler is bad. There can be good filler. Hell, Episode 3, as a standalone own thing, I think it's pretty good. I just can't friggin' stand that we have 9 episodes and we spent 2 episodes doing nothing. Not to mention some other episodes this season where we do, like, plot progression. We're still kind of just sitting around, like episodes 6 and 4. I don't know, man. Like, friggin' a lot of filler throughout this show. And I guess I'll go into my next big, like, problem, is the misusage of a lot of the characters. Like, I've said this in my earlier video on this show, but I'll say it again, is David is mad frickin' underused. He doesn't really do anything. He's like, one episode, he slaps a kid. He talks about the Lord, talking like friggin' Pope from The Walking Dead. Friggin', and then he just dies. It's just not the David from the game at all. And then we shorten him down to 1 episode, but we give this Kathleen frickin' character 2 whole episodes. And oh dear, is that character a doozy. Oh my lord. That character is mind-numbing at times, how annoying that character is. She talks like she's always so cheery and happy and like yippee, cheery kind of like voice attitude. And it just never worked, honestly. And they gave this character 2 whole episodes to be a villain. And they took away from David's arc to like give on to this arc, I feel. At least that's just my theory on it. It's, it was a weird decision. I never liked Kathleen. The right-hand man character, he was kind of cool, the dude with the beard. But even him, he wasn't, like, anything to write home about. Like, he's just kind of there, to be honest. I don't know. And that's in the best episode. Episode 5 has Kathleen in it. So that kind of goes to show you the quality of the show overall, to be honest with you guys. Friggin'. Another thing I'll say about it is, friggin'... Apologies, my camera cut out. As I was saying, friggin', yeah, this season, it's an okay season. It's a pretty good season, I'll say. It ain't nothing spectacular. The finale. Now, this is where I'll actually go into like I'll go in depth with this episode because this is the one I actually do want to talk about quite a bit. Is yeah, the finale is pretty good. I actually quite like the finale. I don't love it, but it's good. It's just, the problem with it was the runtime, for me at least, is 44 minutes to wrap up the entire spring chapter, do the flashbacks with Ellie's mom, which Ellie's mom is played by the original actress, Ashley Johnson, which is actually cool. I think that's a nice reference. I think that was pretty freaking cool to cast her in that role. Feel like that was a good idea. Friggin', we actually get to see Marlene in this flashback too, and she dies the same way that she kills Ellie's mom, which is actually a sick parallel. I really like how they did that. And we have some stuff with Joel and Ellie, like they're telling jokes. She's kind of down in the dumps because of like the whole David thing in episode 8. And believe me, Ellie, I'm right there with you. I was also down in the dumps after that episode, so I could kind of relate to you there. And then friggin' yeah, they get captured by the Fireflies. Joel goes crazy, kills them all. And then, well, this happens, which is, yeah, the doctor gets shot, and, they kind of focus on it for a little while. They kind of let you sit on that, so, yeah, it was nice knowing you, Pedro. We'll see you in 201 getting your frickin' dome caved in by a golf club, I guess. Friggin'. At least I think that's what they're gonna do. I don't know, guys. Friggin', I don't know. Why did they have to show that? Like, you guys know Season 2 isn't gonna go over well if you kill Joel. Like, don't kill Joel. Do not do that. It's a bad idea. The game did it. It failed miserably. That game got panned critically. Just don't do that. Friggin', And then Marlene dies, they make it back to Jackson. We have the same cliffhanger as the game. It's like, it's the most faithful episode to the game, I'd say. Like, that in episode 1, like, they really stick to the formula here, which is cool. I like that. And, friggin', yeah, the finale, pretty friggin' awesome. Love the montage with the action. And guess what, guys? Joel, in this episode... Apologies yet again, guys. My camera keeps wanting to cut out today for some reason. As I was saying, Joel in this episode is like the game Joel. He's brutal. He's savage. He takes people down. And I'm like, there's the fucking guy that I was waiting to see the whole season, man. It's a shame we only got him in this finale, though. I'm like, dude, in the finale, this guy was fucking crazy. He was brutal. He was killing people. He was doing all this crazy shit. And then I'm like, dude, where was that guy the rest of the season? Like, other than, like, what, the interrogation scene in episode 8? And, like, some minor stuff earlier on? Yeah, like, this episode, we finally got what we were looking for way back in, like, episode, like, 4, I'd say. And, a little too late for that, I guess. But, I mean, I guess you did it, which is good. But, like, when I'm giving you brownie points for a finale for something we should have seen way back in episode 4. That's a big problem. I mean, good on the finale for doing it finally, but this should have been done ages ago. And I am not gonna, like, sit here and kiss the show's ass just because we got him in the finale. This should have been done episodes ago. At least that's just if you ask me. And honestly, guys, that's really all I have to say about the season. It is very generic TV. I'm not going to go back on the season, really, other than a few episodes. You'll never catch me watching episodes like 7, 4, 6, 8, 3. There's no rewatchability there at all for me, really, other than like some minor scenes. I don't know, guys. This season, it just wasn't. It wasn't for me, really. It's generic TV. I think Game of Thrones has better seasons than this, and I don't like Game of Thrones at all, really. So, yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I'm gonna put a quick verdict up on the screen just to give my general gist for the season, just my overall thoughts on the season. And yeah, guys, if you want to see more videos on The Last of Us or any other topics, please feel free to suggest down in the comments. I'll take any suggestions, really, if I've seen it or played it. I love covering anything, to be honest, guys. Do you agree with my opinions on The Last of Us? If you do, feel free to let me know. If you don't, please feel free to comment, and I actually would like to see your points of view. Maybe you guys could open my eyes up to something that I am missing or something, to be honest. But, yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video, and, yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
That is the best I can do.